Now to start coding and getting these buttons to work. So from this screen where we left off from the previous video, we need to go to code view. And because we name these all our elements, sensible things and things that we can remember, it's going to be a lot easier to code. Having said that, we don't have to remember. The beauty about Studio or code.org and the App Lab is that we don't need to remember how to write all the special inbuilt functions. They're already here. If you're in the blocks view and if you're dragging the blocks in from here, you'll see the blocks view. If you change and go to show text, it will show the code view, and you can type the functions and things if you remember them. But if you don't remember them, it's fine, because you can just drag the blocks in to the code view and it will just put the code there for you. So all you need to remember is what you want to do and how to do it. You don't have to actually remember how to write the code and the syntax and the attributes of a function. So the first thing we need to get this start button working, and we know that we need to create an event on clicking on that start button. We want to do something. So that is the on event function. The ID is the ID that we rename the button with. So that is btn, because we always start with a button, object. We start it with btn. It stands for button underscore start. Just double check, go back to design view, click on the start, and there it is, btn start. On click, that's the event that we're going to use. There are different events that you can use, like on hover, etc. But we're going to use the click. And then this is saying on the event of clicking on the start button, do whatever we put inside of this function now. So this could be anything. This could be any amount of lines of code and instructions. But all we want to do is go to the next screen. And the next screen is the player screen. So how do we set the screen? We use set screen function. So drag that in between here and we say set screen. Again, we've named things appropriately, so we know that to get to the player screen, well, it's listed here anyway, all we need to do is call the SCR player. So this is coming from the start. That's it. That'll get the start button where let's test it. Click start, it goes to the selection screen. Now these are working. So I'm guessing you know what we're going to have to do here. So I'm going to go to the player screen now. Let's work on these buttons. These buttons need to go to the results screen. So to copy the text and the on event function, and I'm going to paste it 3 times, and I'm going to rename these buttons to rock. This is just putting some lines here just so you can see it a little bit easier. And this is it's exactly the same as the start function, on event function, but we're using the rock now. We're using the same event, the click event, and we're going to tell it to go to a screen, but not the player screen, because we're already on the player screen. We're going to tell it to go to the results screen, or result, no S. Just double check those. So double click to highlight that and paste it in over these two, because all 3 buttons need to go to the same place. But we need to remember to rename these buttons here scissors. So we are recognizing that there is an event on the scissors button, the paper button, and the rock button. So let's run and test that. We click start and we click scissors. It goes to the results page. The play again button doesn't work, so let's fix that now. Let's go to the results page. Yes, you got it right. We're going to copy the same on event function again, and this time, I think we called it reset. If you like, you can double check, go to design view, click on the button. We call it reset. And we want to go back to, not the very start, but we want to go back to the player. Because if you went back to the start here, we'd have to click on the start button again. We've already started playing the game, so we don't have to go all the way back to the start again. So we click rock this time, play again, paper, play again, scissors, play again, and so on. Now, obviously, these U1, we put that in as a static text, and these scores as a static text as well, just to set up the place or the location of those labels. The images aren't showing. Let's do that. So before we put the images in, let's sort out this code first. I'm going to show you what a comment looks like and what a comment is used for. So comments, you start with 2 backslashes and the text goes green, and a comment is used to organize your code. So this, what is this? This is the btn start. So this might be everything to do with, I might put one of these, and I'll put another one in here and I'll say everything to do with the start screen. And these 3 lines here are ignored by the compiler. So it goes here, goes to, well, first of all, it goes past all the blank lines, and it gets to line 5, and it says, okay, this is a comment. I don't need to do anything here. I don't need to process anything. Line 6, the same. Line 7, the same. And then it gets to line 8, and it goes, okay, now I've got to do something on event, add a click event to the start button, and then when someone clicks on the start button, do the commands inside of the function. But these comments, they are ignored by the compiler or the computer, and they're really only useful for us. They're also useful if you're debugging something. So let's say I'll make this an error, and you can see that's an error there, and we'll play this and we'll get an error down here. If there was some other things happening after that, and we just wanted to get past this error, and this error wasn't letting us get past there, then we could simply go into our code and temporarily comment that line of code out. So then if we reset and run again, obviously the start button isn't working because we've commented out that section of code, but you wouldn't get any errors. So it's really good for debugging. So 2 things. First main thing is comments are used to document your code. Second thing is it's used to debug and temporarily remove sections of your code so you can work out errors and continue your development. But the main thing is for us is to organize and sort your code out so it's nice and neat. I use this template. You don't need to use this template exactly like with these dashes, but I like to use them because it separates everything out. So this is everything to do with, I might even type that this is to do with the player screen. So this is everything to do with start screen, and this is everything to do with the results screen. All right, so now you can instantly see where all the stuff is. If I was looking to debug something to do with the player screen, I want to see everything to do with the events and things with these buttons. I can go instantly, okay, I can see everything here is to do with that. All right, now we've got all the navigation working and the code to work to get that navigation working, but we need the actual game to work and we need the computer to make a selection. So let's do that. First thing is let's get some images in for these selections. So let's go to design view and let's get some images in. Let's choose. Now I have these images ready, but you can use any image or any set of images. I just cut these out from an image I found on Google Images, so using Photoshop. But you could even take pictures of your own hand and put them up. So the way the upload function works is exactly like that. You upload the files and then you choose which image you want to put in that container there. So I want to choose this one, scissors. And for this one, I will choose a paper. So that means I won, but this is all again static and there's nothing dynamic about it. So I think we will, in the next video, we'll break it up so it's not as long. We'll find out how to use code to make a selection in here for the user and also make an automatic selection or computer selection over here.